All right, ladies and gents, we are about ready for our third and most advanced check for understanding in programming with Karel. Listen to the vocabulary I'm going to use while I explain the problem. We're going to have Karel, and Karel's going to have two worlds. Karel's going to need to solve a problem in the small world, and the same code you write should also solve a problem in the big world. So I'll show you what the problem is, and then I'll give you a quick tutorial on how to set up those worlds. Let's start with the small one. What I want Karel to do is go around the perimeter of our square and switch the balls. So if there is no ball there, I want Karel to put a ball down. If there's a ball, I want Karel to pick the ball up. And notice what I said, if. If there's a ball, pick it up. If there is no ball, put a ball down. So we've learned about if statements and if-else statements. Let's just watch what it looks like to run it. Speed it up a little bit. So see what he's doing? If there's no ball, a ball goes down. If there is a ball, it's being picked up, and that spot then is left blank. And you can see what happens there. Karel needs to navigate two different worlds to do this. So the other one, the big world, is, you can see, you got to look carefully. I just sort of randomly scattered some balls along the perimeter, and where you put them and exactly how many you put isn't important, but put several. And we'll go ahead and run this one. Karel's doing the same thing. If there's a ball, it's picking up. If there's no ball, it's putting a ball down. So if statements are going to be part of this assessment. Let's also think a little bit about what else is going to need to happen. Well, Karel's going to need to essentially perform those decisions and executions for 4 different times. So I'm thinking there might be a for loop also in there. For 1, for 2, for 3, for 4. Right? Now the other thing is, there's also needs to be a condition, because Karel doesn't know how big the world is. A while loop is probably going to be appropriate. So while there is nothing blocking Karel on each side, Karel should be able to perform that switch. While if Karel is blocked, then Karel's going to need to turn left and do the same thing. So what we're looking at here are while loops, for loops, and if, and maybe an if-else statement to be in there, and that's what we're evaluating. So let's set up Karel's world so you can complete that. Remember, what we're going to do is you're going to work in your sandbox. It's right here. Well, let's call this sandbox, or this program, CFU3. Create program. We'll use Super Karel. And it always gives us that code. Not sure why. Just delete it. So the first one is already set up. Let's use this one. We'll do edit Karel's world, and we'll just leave it 10 by 10. Let's edit the world, and we're going to call it small world. And all I want you to do on this is just add a few balls at these locations. You know, like 10 or something is fine. More enough so that we can see it performing the task. That's fine. Save world. Okay. So our small world is made. Let's go back to worlds and say add new world. And for this one, we're going to make it larger. We're going to make it Karel's larger world. I think if I remember right, I made mine like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's larger than the first one, significantly larger. So I got like 18 by 20 here. That's going to be fine. And of course, we're going to call this big world. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a few balls here. We'll add more in this case because it's a larger world. Just randomly put them around. Doesn't need to be in any specific location. And we'll hit save. And we should be ready to go. We'll go back to worlds, back to program, And now we're ready to start writing and testing our code. So remember, whatever code you write is going to work and do the switch for the small world. You also need to test it on the big world. So it should run on each world without having to change any of the coding inside. Okay, guys, go ahead and get to work. Good luck.